Good morning, happy birthday to you, even if it's not your real birthday, because every day is your birthday if you choose to celebrate life, because welcome to the first day of the rest of your life. Did that the wrong way around, didn't I? Never mind. Because you've chosen to wake up, you've chosen to pick up your phone, you've got this beautiful device in front of you that's allowing you to watch this weird half sunshine thing going on here, haven't I? Yes, welcome to the first day of the rest of your life. So, when do we want action? No, what do we want? Action! When do we want it? Tomorrow, maybe. Yeah, we're going to talk about a little bit about procrastination and prioritization a little bit as well throughout this. But first of all, as always, we want to wish happy birthday to the people whose real birthdays it actually is today. Alana Fulvio, John Clapham, Alex Hume, who's the Secretary of Dean Close Old Pupils Association, Osvaldo, who I know from Cheltenham days, Chelsea, who I don't know, and Douglas, who went to Dean Close, Douglas Barnes, Chelsea Chavez from America somewhere. Who knows? Bright sugars, by the way, by the looks of it, because you work an action coach, I think. Anyway, and Douglas Barnes, who went to school with me at Dean Close as well. Hello, everybody. Happy birthday to you. Okay, what's the one thing you want to get done today? You know what my one thing is. Still not done. Definitely going to get done today. What's the one thing? Blow that candle out, then take 5 deep breaths in through your nose. The idea of blowing this out in the first place is to clear your lungs out. Then you breathe in 5 through your nose. That was better, wasn't it? Put this hand on your heart, hold for 5 while you light your candles. Blow the candles out on your birthday cake while you're thinking about the 5 things you want, the one thing you want to get done in the next hour. Do that 5 times, of course, to help with focus. Help you with focus. It will help you with anxiety and panic attacks as well. Hello, the viewer who was here briefly, by the way. I really want to keep these things under 10 minutes if I can. I forgot to start my stopwatch, which is not clever. Never mind. Morning. Recording a little video down here, and there's a lady walking. Okay, what the heck's going on down there? I need to give her one of my little cards, don't I? To say, watch the video later on. Anyway, so we're talking about action taking today mostly, but I also want to talk about unconscious beliefs versus. We talked about this a long time ago, and I kind of want to talk about how we've got this conscious thoughts up here, and then if you think of our head like this, the conscious thoughts at the top here, then we've got our kind of subconscious sort of layer in here, and then an unconscious layer down here. And the unconscious layer is the sort of thing that's just makes us, it's kind of full of feelings and emotions that we're not really sure where they come from. That sort of thing there, for example, feeling self-confident about myself when somebody's working out what I'm doing here, or a lot of people will feel self-confident just being on camera, for example. All that sort of stuff. So I wanted to use an example to show what that means from the money book. So the Happy Money book, which is linked in the description below, by the way. And by the way, the Blinkist Book of the day, fantastic today. It's the Procrastination Cure. Well worth listening to. Again, I think this is my second time through this one. Definitely worth listening to that one. So the money example is, imagine you're buying something on Amazon. And you have to look at what you're doing. So you've done through the sort of conscious thoughts. I want to buy this thing on Amazon. I've done a search for it. I found the thing I want to. I found the type of thing I want, maybe. But you've noticed that there are other options there potentially. And you've got a subconscious pattern going on in your mind saying, so are you the sort of person, for example, are you the sort of person who will always look at the reviews? Will you look at the price? Will you look at the colour? Will you look at all these things that you would normally do? Check the delivery times. These things might be things that you just normally just do automatically. And you don't really think about it, but you kind of just do them because you've always done them. And then your unconscious feelings and emotions come into it. So then you sort of kind of decided that you want to buy this item, whatever this item is. But then you look at the price and you think, well, it's a bit much. It's a bit too much more than I wanted to pay. And maybe the delivery isn't fast enough, but I don't want to pay for the extra delivery. And that's all your unconscious feelings. That's one that gets emotion in here. It's like you go, ooh, I'm not sure about that. Then you look at the reviews below the thing, and you look at the views. And then are you the sort of person who looks the positive reviews to try and find evidence to support your beliefs and your choices. So you think, oh yeah, look, somebody says this is great, this is fantastic. Or you're the sort of person who looks at all the negative ones to try and give you a reason not to buy. These are very different things as well. You're looking for unconscious biases, really, because you tend to look at the negatives to find out, because you don't really want to buy it. You kind of want to talk yourself out of it, or do you want to look at the positive ones because you want to try and talk yourself into buying it, because you're trying to overcome that emotion, that deep unconscious emotion about what to do about it. And that, of course, plays into this. When are you going to take action? Straight away? Are you going to take action straight away, or are you going to wait? You're going to think about it a bit more. And again, those are unconscious feelings that are coming in there that's stopping you from moving forward. And as soon as we can start thinking about those, and paying attention to them, being aware of them. We've talked before about being becoming aware, then making different choices, and then putting effort in over time. I spoke to a guy yesterday, Anthony, who really it was quite an emotional conversation, it has to be said. He was asking me about what websites I've got and how I'm selling what I do, and he said, God, this is a mess, isn't it? It's all over the place. And I really felt it, and we started talking about somebody who I'd paid money to try and sort it all out, and who hadn't sorted it all out. And I could feel myself getting really eaten up and and angry, and I could feel a panic attack bubbling up inside me as I was talking to this guy. And of course it wasn't his fault. He was just asking perfectly reasonable questions, but I could feel that unconscious sickening feeling going on, bubbling up, that we often have. It's just worth being aware of these things, because as soon as you start becoming aware of these things, then you can deal with them. And so I took some deep breaths and cleared my mind a little bit. Admittedly, turned off to listening to him for a few minutes, and then had to say, sorry, I wasn't listening, what were you saying? All that kind of stuff. But yeah, so those are unconscious beliefs, and they can stop you from taking action. They can stop you from moving forward. Here's how to overcome those things. That's what I'm going to tell you about now. Hello, 2 viewers, by the way. Tell us who you are. Let us know who you are. That'd be lovely. So think about a time in your life, or 2 times in your life actually. One where time feels like it's really slow. You're doing a task. Let's think first of all, a task where you're really involved in it, you're really enjoying it, you're spending time with friends, and the conversation's flowing, and you think, good Lord, is this time already? How fast has this evening gone by? I can't even remember time passing. And then think about a time when you've had a task to do, and it's just grinded, and it's just like, oh God, it's just still it's only been 10 minutes and I'm still, it's horrible. And you can feel your whole body sort of draining with this pain, and it's like, I don't want to do this thing. And that's when you say, I tell you what, I'm going to do this tomorrow or later. And you have this feeling of, when are you going to do this? Later, maybe. Because it's a task you don't want to do versus a task you do want to do that you love doing. Thanks for the thumbs up, by the way, guys. So, task that you really love doing, you won't even think about it. You'll just do it, you get on with it, you'll love it, time will fly, and you go, gosh, I wish I could spend more time on this thing, it's fantastic. Versus something you don't want to do, and you go, ugh, I'll maybe do this tomorrow, I'll think about it, maybe later, all that kind of stuff. And what does that do to you emotionally, though? That's the question. Because as soon as you start putting things off and delaying until tomorrow, then you start to reinforce this belief that you're not getting things done. And it eats away at you, doesn't it? It makes you feel emotionally drained, because the next day, when it's tomorrow, because tomorrow eventually comes, right? You get to tomorrow, and now it's today, and then you go, when am I going to do this thing? Maybe tomorrow. And then today comes along, and then tomorrow becomes today, and you go, when am I going to do this thing? Maybe tomorrow. You'll have noticed I have a landing page to produce, and every day I talk to you about it on here. Well, not every day, but you know what I mean. And every day I say, I'm going to get it done today, so tomorrow I can come on and say, yay, I've done it. And then tomorrow comes along and I haven't done it. And I still haven't done it, and I still haven't done it. And this has been going on for months now, and it's ridiculous. And I just keep pushing it off and finding something more interesting, more fun to do instead. Morning. And so the more I push it off, the more I feel bad about it, and it starts to knock my certainty about things that I'm going to get achieved in the future, and everything else. It knocks my confidence, makes me start feeling bad about myself. Then when I got on this conversation with Guy Anthony yesterday, he was like, well, where's your landing page? Where's the first place you want people to go? And I was like, ugh, that landing page that I've been putting off and off and off and off for days and days and days. And so I've got to look at now, what is the unconscious, those emotions and those feelings that's stopping me from doing it. And I was listening to the Procrastination Cure on the Blinkist Book of the Day today, and they were talking about how it's and I can't remember where I was going with that. I've completely forgotten what I was going to say on that one. Anyway, it's about not wanting to do the thing. There was some things they said about that which was particularly good, about emotionally not buying into, I can't remember what it was, never mind, it'll come back to me in a minute, I'm sure. But yes, so, and as soon as you start doing these things, I've talked before about doing these tiny little subjects, these tiny little tasks to prove to yourself that you can achieve these goals. And I've just, this morning, while I've been thinking about this, adjusted my Create Happy process. So one of my landing pages, not the one I've been working on, one of the other ones, which is basically going to be like a low-cost thing you can just download anytime, 24 days, 24/7, which is my Create Happy process. And it's basically a form you can fill out every night before you go to bed, and then read every morning before you get up. And Brendon Buchard was talking about the same thing. He was talking about 3 Gs. He was talking about goodness, gratitude, and goals. Well, I have things that make you smile, things you want to achieve, things you have achieved, goals, things you want to achieve, and things you're gratitude to. So those are the 3 things. And then the other thing I always add is 3 things that you have achieved during the day. And I was writing these things down because I've just been starting to do this in a sort of journal thing. I've been using a bullet journal, which comes from an ADHD lady who suggested this, and I'm quite liking it. And I think I might have to produce my own journal at some point. Yeah, but the idea is that then the tasks you write down for the next day need to be things that you're going to achieve, so that the next day you can prove to yourself that you can achieve them, and you can write them off and you can tick them off and you say, yes, I achieved this thing. And then the point of that is because it's working on your neuropsychology. It's working on helping you to see the good, see the positives, focus on the good, focus on the positives, have that certainty. So you do the task, you prove to yourself you can do the task, you get yourself confidence, and then you can move on to a slightly bigger task. And as I was thinking about this, I was thinking, this is like the weights thing, because I talked about this a couple of days ago, about how I've just increased the weights during my morning workout. And it's really tough now to do some of the lifts that I'm doing. And I have to break, stop, take a breath, let the lactic acid just die for a second, and then carry on again. And I thought about it, and these tasks, these little tiny mini tasks that you set yourself and then you achieve, they need to be simple and easy to do, because eventually over time you will start to think, well, these are boring, these are easy, I need to put something more difficult in here so that I can push myself a little bit harder. You'll just naturally start to do that because it gets too easy. It's a little bit like if you ever went to the gym and you put you did the push-up ones or whatever, and you put it on the lightest weight, and you just went like this, and you're just like, and you're doing it so fast, it's like, this is pointless. You may as well put some extra weights on there, so it's at least a little bit more resistant. Oh yeah, it's a little bit more resistant. Tell you what, it's a little bit hard, still a little bit too easy. I'll put another weight on there. Okay, now it's a little bit of effort to put this in. It actually feels like I'm doing something now. So you'll automatically do that. You'll automatically push yourself a little bit harder if things are too easy. Because you just get bored of this thing that's too easy, and then you'll push yourself a little bit harder, make it a little bit more difficult, and you'll automatically start to build that confidence up, and that's where it comes from. You build yourself a little confidence. I've talked before about having a hula hoop, and you're standing in a hula hoop, and you just step outside the hula hoop and you feel really uncomfortable, then you step back in again, but then you go, yeah, but I've already stood in that little other one there now, so now I know what that feels like. It's a little bit uncomfortable, but it's kind of okay. Yeah, that's okay. Or a little bit like if you did a cold shower thing, for example, you just turn the cold water down a little bit, and then you turn it down a little bit more, and you get used to it, and you turn it down a little bit more, and you get used to it, and you turn it down a little bit more, and you get used to it. Your body can adapt, and then you can push yourself a little bit harder, and you'll automatically start to do that over time. If you give yourself a little tiny task, prove yourself you can do it, prove yourself you can do it, prove yourself you can do it, then do it a little bit more, then do it a bit more, and then you build yourself up. Eventually you get your confidence up, then you'll start doing the harder tasks later on. This of course is for people who are struggling with things like depression, where even the tiniest little task seems like it's way too much hard work. And of course that's what I want to teach people, and that's what I want to help people with. Hello viewer, by the way, another viewer's just popped in there. Love that. So always look for those successes and focus on those. And oh, hello Vet, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Yes, I think that's pretty much it. I'm going to finish there, which I think is probably about 12 minutes. Hurrah! Almost 10 minutes. Maybe it might be 13 actually, because I forgot to stop the timer, didn't I? But it's on the second time. I've got a countdown climb that goes from 10 down to 0 and then starts at 10 again. And it's now down to 7 minutes, so I'm guessing that's about 13, 14 minutes. So anyway, that's all from me. Take care of yourselves. Think about all these things. Go back and watch it if you haven't watched it already. I'm going to send you all love. Mwah. Remember to set yourself little tasks that you can achieve. Prove to yourself that you can achieve them, and then start building on that and building on that to build your self-confidence, your future pacing, and start taking actions today instead of waiting until tomorrow. there you go. And if you're interested in doing my 7-day Kickstarter challenge, let me know, because the landing page is gonna get done today, which I've said for the last 3 days, but it's gonna get done today. Okay, today, not tomorrow, today. All right, bye guys, take care, love you all. Mwah.